It's ironic. I'm making a video about comfortability at a time when over 50 million Americans are unemployed and millions more are stressing, and justifiably so. But hear me out. You're too comfortable. Yeah, I'm talking about you, the lazy fuck that's watching this video on your bed right now. I'm guilty of this too. I know saint, but I'm speaking about this because I speak from experience. Let me explain. A year ago, I moved from Portland, Oregon to Troutdale, Oregon, a whole new city where I knew no one there. I was on my own. My friends at the time were either a 30-minute drive away, off to college, or getting their ass kicked in boot camp, and I decided to get a job at Home Depot because, you know, I'm Mexican, it's kind of what I do. And shit was cool. I met a homie there who quit, but he did give me a heads up about a UPS hiring event the next day, but I had work that day. So I had a decision to make. Either leave the comfortability of Home Depot, which is literally down the street from my house, to work at some new place out of the blue, or stay where I was. Now UPS did have a higher pay rate, and there were other reasons for me. There's so many fucking planes over here, goddamn. To leave Home Depot. I'm not completely insane, but it was still a huge risk for me because the hiring event was a 40-minute drive away, which I know doesn't sound like much, but at the time, I wasn't a very confident driver, and I've never driven that far before. On top of that, I would have to call in sick out of work very last minute and was jeopardizing my job at Home Depot, which if I didn't get the job at UPS, I'd be unemployed. But I said fuck it. I went in, I wooed the MILF interviewer lady, and I got the job. I was chilling, but I didn't know what was lying ahead. I started both school and work at UPS on the same day. Now I'm a computer science major, so shit was kind of rough for me from the start. From September to December, I worked from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday, while having to get my ass up at 9 a.m. to get to class on time. And that shit is mad unstable. I went from 140 pounds, which is pretty thin for my size already, to 123 pounds. I lost 17 pounds in 4 months. And a guy like me, I need every pound, bro. In that same time frame, I got sick 3 times when I rarely get sick once a year. I was fucking losing my mind. And now I could go on and explain how much more miserable my life was during that point in time. But I ain't trying to prove shit to you, and you don't give a fuck. By the time when the term came around though, I said fuck this. I quit my job, I dialed my classes back, and I became an unemployed part-time student. And this gave me a lot of time, a lot of freedom. I went from having to write down every single minute of my day just to stay afloat to being able to wake up whenever I wanted to. In January, I actually started my YouTube channel. I was getting my way back. I was off to a good start, but as time went on, I grew more and more comfortable with my situation of just staying at home, only going out when I needed to, even before quarantine. I was getting complacent and I knew it. I knew that I needed to break out of the cycle, but I didn't know how. You could say I was paralyzed because my computer science class was easily the hardest class I've ever taken in my life, especially since my deadbeat professor literally dipped, so I was just left alone to teach myself the class through an online textbook, which is something I've never done before. And I wasn't ready for that challenge, and it showed because I was scared. I was scared of failing, which is a feeling I've never felt before, and I seek comfort in playing video games. Now, this ain't some anti-video game boomer sounding kind of rants. I fucking love video games, but that's all I did at the time. I no-life Monster Hunter, and I did so knowing that it wasn't gonna get me towards where I wanted to be. But at the time, that didn't matter because it made me feel good about myself, even if it was temporary. And that's when comfortability becomes an issue. It creates a false sense of security. And as much as I don't want to admit this because it honestly makes me feel like a little bitch, but I was so caught up in the false comfort, the false sense of security, that I was getting depressed. Now, don't get it twisted, I ain't saying I had depression. Having depression and being depressed are two separate things. I just needed a fire under my ass so I could get up and do shit, but all I had was a tiny lighter, and I didn't know how to fan those flames. Now, I'm an ambitious person and want to do so many things in my life, but what I was missing was a drive to get there and accomplish what I said I was gonna do. And that was due to me being too comfortable. You just gotta get out of your comfort zone and out of your own head and put yourself in situations where your abilities get tested. Bars. And don't be afraid of being the stupidest one in the room or sucking at the beginning of starting something new, because we all start somewhere. I get it. You know, it's kind of easier said than done. Back in high school, I wanted to be that annoying kid who would always raise his hands and ask the most stupid question. But I wanted to do so because I was there for myself. I wanted to learn. I wanted to grow as a person. But I couldn't bring myself to do that most of the time because I didn't want to look stupid or be embarrassed in front of the class. And that affected my dreams. Now, I've always had a dream, and I think it's important for every single person to have a dream. but my flame was small. It wasn't until recently that it's turned into this raging fire inside of me, where I want to make music, I want to make videos that people find enjoyable. And if it helps them out, then that's fucking great. I enjoy meeting new people because they can give me a different life perspective that otherwise I wouldn't have seen. And none of that would be possible if I had stayed inside my bubble of comfort. And if you're not putting yourself in those situations, you're making your life boring. Because if it's too easy, it ain't worth it. You're the main character in your story, so make it interesting. Alright, that wasn't a bad take.